Morning, Lance. Good morning, Scott. Y'all doing all right this morning? Mr. Johnny, good morning. We got rain, Johnny. I poured an inch and a quarter out yesterday morning. Good morning, Matt. Trucker Steve, good morning. Of course, we had to have high winds to go with the rain and thunder and lightning and all that kind of stuff, but we did get some. Good morning, Dad. How you doing this morning, Paul? Great to be alive. It sure is. I like that. I like that part of every day. It's always good to wake up in the mornings. Mad props. Good morning. Yeah, it's not bad. Need some clouds like Lee. Good morning, Lee. Lee popped in. Like Dennis had. Clouds make a sunrise or a sunset. I think the more clouds, the better. And it's actually kind of cool this morning. It's like 71 or 2. Good morning, TJ. How you, buddy? It's a nice change. Good morning, Joe. Uh, it was like 80, I think it was 80, 81 Friday morning. Got up to 100 and I seen 107, 108 Friday. But I think fall finally gonna show up here pretty quick. I don't see no 100-degree days. As a matter of fact, it's supposed to be like 82 or 80 uh, Tuesday, Wednesday, and the winds picked up out of the south pretty strong already this morning. So usually when that happens, there's a cold front coming. It does feel good, Joe. It sure does. It sure does. DeMarco, good morning, my man. RP guy, good morning. Mad Props, good morning. Miss Malik, good morning. Roger that. We are on the right side of the grass. Good morning, Carlos. It's good to see you. Johnny, if you're in here, thank you for the coffee. You're short a cup. Stopped by there earlier and got me a glass of it. 2 creams and 2 Splendas. I got tickled this morning. I always stop at I always say I go to Johnny's house get coffee, but I always stop at McDonald's or Whataburger and get coffee. God bless. Good morning. I pulled up this morning to the drive-through. It's about 6:15, 6:20, and that guy gets on his man. So we're running kind of late this morning. So we ain't got nothing cooked or anything. I said, well, he said, but I do have coffee. I said, well, that's perfect. That's what I want. That's a cup of coffee. Then I asked what was wrong, and then they got to telling me about the night crew didn't shut everything off right, and then we got to do this and we got to do that. And I said, uh-oh, I'm glad I'm not hungry then. I'd have to go across the street to Whataburger. Hey, Akira Show, Mr. Warren. Good morning. I'm going to read my little old tidbit right quick. Let me see if I can find it again. Oh, this is a pretty cool one. This is Lagrange out of Fayette County, which is down close to Lagrange is down Beaumont area, I believe. Established in the fall, it's the first roadside park in Texas. We all like roadside parks. We get to stop and get the blown-in cheese out of the cooler and make a little old sandwich and let the kiddos run around. Well, this is the first roadside park in Texas. It was in LaGrange in Fayette County, established in the fall of 1933 when a local state highway official built tables and benches, since then replaced here to encourage motorists to stop and rest. Texas was one of the first states to sponsor building of roadside parks, which provided work for many of the unemployed during the 30s, during the Depression. Early highway beautification efforts also started here. Today's areas along Texas highways are noted for their landscaping and abundance of native wildflowers. Texas roadside parks, many of which have restrooms and cookout areas, totaled 1,008 in 1967. I couldn't tell you how many there is now, because now then, if you go to a roadside park, it's like going to a grocery store. It's almost like going to a Buc-ee's. They got bathrooms and Coke machines and all kinds of stuff there for us now, where it used to be just concrete tables. And they were nice tables and benches back in the day, as they say. Mr. Scott, good morning. Mr. Franks, Mr. Jerry, Mr. God Bless, good to see you. I do have a coffee maker at home, Carlos, but I'd rather go. No clouds this morning. Clear as a bell. Like I say, we got 1.25 inches of rain at my house. 2:30. 2:30 Saturday morning. My phone went off. My wife's phone went off. Went nuts. Raising Cain. The next thing I know, it's turning lightning up the house. But anyway, we got some rain. Nobody got any major damage. So I had a pretty boring week last week. Nothing too crazy. It's kind of nice to have a quiet week. It was all off Labor Day, Monday. Cooked a ribeye. Spinning or buffering? I hope not, Carlos. Sometimes it does that, buddy. May need to refresh, Carlos. Well, let me try this. Let's see here. It's one of the aggravations of live streaming. There's my telemetry. Let me do that, do this, do that. Maybe that'll help. Got to stop Fisher-Price drone flying. I do fly, Carlos. You know that. I've had you on a few rounds with me. We'll fly out to the island, take a gander this morning. See if they caught any rain over here. Get a little altitude and we'll roll on out here. Good morning, Uncle Bill. That's my dad's name, and it was always cool to hear my cousins call my dad Uncle Bill. James Droning, good morning. Uncle Bill. As a matter of fact, had a cousin pass away about 1.5 years ago. I stopped and visited with his wife, and she didn't know my dad, but he always called my dad Uncle Bill. That was always pretty cool. Brings back good memories every time I see Uncle Bill in the chat. Reminds me of my dad. It's what we live for is memories, right? That's what I got a ton of. Yeah, we now have an island, touching an island, so it's gone down since last weekend. I don't know. I don't think it got any rain up north of us where this lake gets all its runoff from. But yeah, it's touching again. So it's not where it was last summer, but we're fixing to have a wet winter. So, and I read the Farmer's Almanac. Y'all know that's right. Y'all know that is correct. There's nothing. Farmer's Almanac is always correct. It's supposed to be a wet and extremely cool winter here in East Texas. Well, we had a dry and hot summer, so I guess that evens out, right? But I know one thing, it was plenty warm. Friday was miserable. And you guys down there in Houston, y'all got to deal with the humidity, and then y'all had to deal with some 100+ degrees days. I know Joe and Brian, I'm sure Lee's had to deal with it over in San Antonio. But anyhow, I got a tailwind behind me. That's 30 miles an hour. Shoo-wee. Old Phantom from rolling this morning. Come on, winter in your 60-degree days. I hear you, man. I can deal with some of that. I noticed over here, I think I showed y'all last year. We'll fly over here right quick. There's an old house foundation. And when the lake filled back up, you can't see it, but some guys had tied off some markers on this thing. Maybe I can find it to keep people from running over it with their boats. I don't know if I can see them or not today. But it's good on them for doing it. I just watched a guy put in, he had a $100,000 pickup and a $100,000 boat to go with it. Sure hate to see it get tore up. There it is. Maybe. There's a guy fishing. He's probably going, what in the world? Bunch of bees somewhere. It's out here somewhere. There's some buoys there. That might be it. Oh, there they are right there. See them two buoys there? That's an old house. When they filled the lake up, it filled it up, and the house was gone, but they left a slab there. So now then you got to dodge it when you're out on the water. Ooh, turn that down a little bit. Take a quick picture. Who was in the chat? Mr. Barkley, $200,000 in debt. Yeah, I hear you, Mr. Barkley. Brad, good morning. Go back up through here. RP Guy, Joe. I think I've said hello to everybody, and if somebody slipped in here, I'll go back through here and make y'all blue in a little while. I don't think I've missed anybody today. If I have, apologies. It was nice looking though, Mr. Barkley. It's nice to see. It's big old, nice. Looked to me like a bay boat. Get back over here. There's a guy putting in. I think I got enough battery. We might give him just a little old chase here in just a second. Y'all make sure to get your coffee and go hang out with Johnny. I'll probably hang out with Johnny just a little bit when I get done here because everybody's still asleep at my house. We'll go over, aggravate him a little bit. See what he's bought this week. Steve, good morning. How you doing, man? Well, I'll tell you a little funny story. My son, when he lived in Austin, they had a little bitty yard, and he bought an electric lawnmower. I'll do that, Miss Mela. I'll sure do that. So I get the phone call, Dad, my lawnmower won't work. Well, I'm not an electrical guy, by no means. So I took it to work, and I got a guy that I work with who's he's just that guy. He's that guy that you want in your hip pocket. So we took it over there to our shop and took it apart, and there's a little bitty off-on switch, a temporary switch is what they call it. It's $2.36 is bad. So we ordered one. We're gonna fix it, but it sounds like a fan. It sounds like a fan when we got it running. It's the weirdest thing. It's got a 40-volt battery. It's a Ryobi. Good morning, Chris. It's a Ryobi lawnmower. He's mowed with it, and he's been home. I don't know. He's had it probably 3 or 4 years. But that was different this week. Never worked on an electric lawnmower before, so that was a first. But he's got battery's low. But he's got a little yard now, and he doesn't have to fool with a big yard like I got one. So anyway, y'all go catch old Johnny Drone Flyer. Tell him I sent you. I get a little discount when I get my coffee. And we'll catch y'all next Sunday, and thank y'all for following us around. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate y'all so much, and I know everybody else does too. And we'll catch y'all on the flip side. Thank y'all so much for following us around. Hey, Chris Waters, good morning, my man. All right, you be careful flying today. Make sure your 107 is working. We'll catch y'all somewhere. Thank y'all. Bye-bye.